Hello and a warm welcome back to the channel. In this video it is part 2 of our side boundary border makeover. So these are all the plants that we've come back with from our trips out to the garden centres and nurseries. So I'm going to go and describe the plant choices that we've made, and then we're going to go ahead and plant the border. So if you can remember back to part 1, this is a semi-shade position. So it does get a bit of sun, but it does also get some shade. So all the plants around me that you see that I'm going to describe are actually for a semi-shade position. And I'm going to start with the first one. So this one is an Astrantia, and this one is called Claret. Has these lovely deep red flowers. Now it's quite a small plant at the moment, but this one will get to about 70 centimetres high and about 50 centimetres wide. So it's one of those plants that is really good for moist soil and for a semi-shade position. And if you do have really good moist soil, it will also survive and grow in full sun. But we're going to plant it in our side border, which has got moderate soil and part shade. So that is one of the choices. We've also chosen some astilbes. So this astilbe is called Starry Rose, and again it has that kind of position which likes a bit of moisture and part shade. So this one can grow up to a spread of 100 centimetres and 100 centimetres tall, and it has these lovely fluffy pink flower heads. So these are just starting now on these. So I have 3 of those. We've got this beautiful anemone. This is the Japanese anemone, and this is called Honorine Joubert, and this has the most beautiful flowers, lovely white with a yellow centre, and these are quite a bit of a thug. So I'm going to put these in a suitable position where I'm going to allow them to spread, because they can spread quite wide, but it gets to about a height of around maybe 3 or 4 foot. So it's going to get a decent height on it, and obviously these are going to flower towards late summer going into autumn. So these are going to be the stars of the show come September time. Beautiful plant. Now I did say on part 1 that I did want to include lots of digitalis, so foxgloves. So obviously I've not got any foxgloves that I can plant in that we've grown from seed yet, so I've had to buy these in. So I've got some of these that I've bought, and this one's called Camelot Cream. So lovely white creamy flowers on this one. And I've also got some of the ones that are more pinky purple. So we have got lots and lots of choice. We've got lots and lots of them to put in the border, mixing in and around the other plants. We've also got a few ferns, because we know ferns like the darker areas of the garden. So this is a buckler fern, and this one grows to, let me have a look what it says, 40 centimetres. So it's not a really tall one, but it's a lovely shape. Lovely pale green leaves. So this is a lovely one. We've got 2 of those. I may end up dividing this into 4 to get some more. But the star of the show is this beautiful Hydrangea paniculata, and this one's called Phantom. And this one is beautiful. It has lovely white, big fat flower heads, and they're just now starting to show where they're going to be. So on each one of these stems is going to be some beautiful, really beautiful flowers. So that's going to be the star. And with regards to hydrangeas, we know they like the moisture, but they also like the semi-shade aspect as well. So this is going to be perfect. It does grow quite wide and quite tall, so you're looking at maybe 1.5 metres tall up to a maximum spread of around 2 metres. But obviously plants can be contained within the space that you allow them to be, just by judicious pruning. So never be feared when you see a plant that says it grows really wide. You can prune it in and make it a bit smaller to make it fit the space that you've got. So I think that's all my plant choices. I just hope I've got enough space to put all these in this tiny little border. We have searched high and low to get these plants. We've been to many plant nurseries, many garden centres, looking specifically for the type of plants we want for this area. So hopefully the selection is going to be perfect and provide us with lots and lots of interest and lots of flowers. So the only thing left to do now is get to the planting, which, as you know, is my favourite part. So I've managed to place them where I think I want them. So we have the fern just there. We have the astrantias, one there, one just in front of where the peony is, and another one just towards the back. We have the beautiful astilbes, so in a group of 3, just there. We have those lovely anemones, which are in a group of 3, just there. And then we have that lovely hydrangea. Now remember, that's going to grow quite tall and quite wide, so it is probably going to take up a lot of space. So you'll be able to see it from the front of the garden, so as you're approaching the summer house, and also when it pops up above where the summer house windows are, we'll be able to get a look at those lovely flowers when we're actually sat inside the summer house too. And then we have the foxglove just planted, quite casual, just in a few clumps of 3, and sometimes just dotted around in the 1s and 2s. So all together, oh yeah, we've got another fern there as well. Just one more fern there, and if you can see, we've got a clump of foxgloves just towards the back. That's obviously the hydrangea. And then we've got more foxgloves as we're going along. There's one there. There's obviously a few there as well, there and there. I think there's 6 foxgloves in total, so we've utilised all them. So with them all in place, and with them looking as we want them, I think we can now get planting. This is really quite a small space, so I'm going to have to get right in. I'm not going to be able to use a spade on this, I don't think. So I'm just going to go in with a little trowel. I'm starting right at this end, so that we can get the furthest ones in first. Starting with these foxgloves. So these are biennial, so what we'll have to be doing is sowing some more seeds this year in order to get plants that we can put in the autumn time when these have finished. And with a bit of luck, when these flower, we'll also get a few seeds being sprinkled around from these, and lots of little offspring naturally self-seeding. The soil's actually quite good round here, so I'm hoping these are going to get off to a really good start. I have included a bit of compost just to give it a bit more nutrition. And these plants are all plants that can be pretty much left. Keep on top of the watering, because a lot of these plants, like I've already said, will need to have additional water if it becomes too dry, particularly within the first few weeks of being planted. But as they establish, they'll be much more able to look after themselves. There's quite a few little bricks in here. I'm just having to bring out at the same time as planting. So that's a nice clump of beautiful foxgloves. I'm going to try and take the waste as I'm going along as well. Now remember, there is a bit of a path along the very edge of the summer house, just made up of these bricks. So the border actually starts maybe about 15 centimetres away from the summer house. And the good thing about that is it does give me a bit of a walkway to get down if I need to do any watering or replanting. So the next one is this beautiful hydrangea. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him flower. There's a number of bricks I just need to try and get out as I'm going along. You always find these bits of bricks whenever you're digging borders that you've not been used to digging for a while. Big bricks like this, bits of stones. It's particularly prevalent with new builds. So whenever people buy new builds, usually you find the builders bury all of the concrete and things that they don't need underneath the soil. So when a family moves to the new house, the first thing they've got to do is dig up all that awful debris that people have left behind, which is really, really annoying. So this is now getting onto the hydrangea. So to dig a pretty big hole for this one. I just can't wait to see these lovely flowers nodding above where the summer house window is, so we can see it as we sat in the summer house. So let's get that out of its pot. See some of those roots. And in it goes. Now I know this grows really, really big and really wide, but the plants either side of it are just there for the time that this is small. So we have the digitalis either side of it, and obviously as it grows bigger we'll need to prune to make sure it doesn't overgrow its space. So that's that. I'll take all these bricks with me to dispose of. Excuse me, hydrangea, just let me get in. Got some more foxgloves now going in. I'm just going to tidy up some of these leaves. Take off some of these that have turned yellow, just to make it look a bit better. And in it pops. Deeper. We have another one here. So I don't think this has got any flower spikes on it, but it doesn't matter because it will flower next year if that's the case. Oh no, it has got one. It has got one forming. So we will get flowers on this, just maybe a little later. I can go in there. Take all that with me, out that way. And then onto the anemones. You can get anemones that are more clump forming than spreading. So if you have got a smaller space, perhaps choose varieties that are not going to spread too far. But these are fine here. I think these will be fine because I've got the space for them to spread a little bit. And come September time, these are just going to look absolutely fantastic. So I'm planting these into a little triangle of 3. So I'm just going to place one of these ferns on this side here. Right, so where I wanted to place that is actually a rock. Which is fine. I use it further down. Next we have these astilbes. So again, I'm coming across rock, I'm afraid, there. I'm gonna have to go a bit further in. There's some rock I can get out, like tiled rock, but there's some that I just can't. So I'm going to make do with that. The roots will find their own way where they need to be. And luckily, got a bit of space on this front bit here. These three will grow into a really good clump. And then we've got another foxglove to go towards the back. And the last astilbe to go in. And then we're going to fit in these astrantias. So I wanted these astrantias to go kind of like through where this peony is. So it looks like the border's much wider than it is, but in actual fact there is a layer of stones under there. So I'm just trying to hide a little bit, make it look a bit more natural. So one there. We've hit bricks again. It's okay. Another one there. And one just to the end of this buddleia here. And then these ferns, probably going to put them together. Take off some of these leaves that are just looking a bit tired. And these can go towards this end. And the second one I might just put on this side here. So it can grow pretty much underneath the buddleia. And that is pretty much everything planted. So let's take a look, standing up. So right down there we have our foxgloves at the end, our hydrangea, some more foxgloves, some anemones in a group there, some more foxgloves here, some astilbes planted here, some astrantias planted in a free set there, and then the ferns, one planted there and one planted there. So I think all we need to do now is give these a really good water, and then we just watch and wait for the whole border to come alive. And considering how this was before we started with just the pink geranium, this is now filled with lots and lots of interest that will take us through from now all the way into the autumn. So I've got watering to do and a bit of clearing up, so I'm going to leave the video there. I do hope you found this video informative and interesting. I have shown you how we can transform just a very small border that's just been left to its own devices for so long, and look at what we can achieve if we just put some effort into it, give it some TLC and inject some new plants, some new blood into the area. So all the plants I've described today are suitable for semi-shade. So if you do have that kind of position in your garden, these kind of plants is what you're looking for. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you very soon on the next one. In the meantime, please do take care and happy gardening.